Alright, which way to east? I got my joint.
Just this way.
You gotta re-show me how to use this because I forgot again. You said what? Slide.
What was
You know,
the name that we had? So it was
Ra'ah.
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 So really, no matter which way you going.
We do that later. Which way? The east. That way. Straight.
Yeah, straight.
Alright, cool. Alright, so we back, you know what I'm saying? We're going in and endure, you know, by the Spirit. First and foremost, we're gonna start off by giving all honor, praise, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, HaKadosh.
Alright? Shalom wa barakim, ha'aman ba'chiyar, Yasha'Allah, which is to say peace and blessings to the faithful elect of Yasha'Allah. You brothers out pushing the word and truth and sincerity, man. Okay? Across the four corners of this earth, this globe, till we out of here, man. And the true names, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Wash, Yahweh Wa Yahweh Shai, Yahweh in the name, Yahweh Shai. Alright? Yahweh being the name of the Father, Yahweh Shai being the name of, you know, the Son. Alright, our big brother. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well of Yasha'Allah, which is to say Israel in Hebrew. Alright, the Bariyat, Bariyat. Alright? I'm your brother Shariat Nawasah Shaman. To my right is
Brother Neon,
Brother War.
back around.
Brother Mahar.
Brother Ron.
Alright. So we just gonna go in by the Spirit. So yeah, man. What you was saying? What you were asking before?
First I had to, because a lot of it made a lot of sense that the Italians was Japhet. I was asking my heart.
That's what you was just about to say? Or was you about to say something else? He was like, before we get going.
Yeah.
That's
Because I just wanted to clear that.
Joffrey. Yeah, man. So you got tons of history. You know what I'm saying? We got tons of, the tablet. Here goes Joffrey right here. And we show, we throw it on the screen too. But we got Joffrey proving, you know, Joffrey being the original people of Italy, you know, because a lot of brothers don't know that so-called blacks are the real Italians, you know. Esau, he's whitewashed and just whitewashed people's minds, not only the history, everything, man. He done did it all. You know what I'm saying? This dude did it all. But, here go Joffrey right here. Somebody can start with that scripture real quick in my pocket. First Maccabees 3 and 48.
3 and 4.
I'll find this. Yeah, you bring it up.
This First Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 48 says, "And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images."
One more time.
This First Maccabees 3 verse 48, "And laid open the book of the law."
So they laid open the book of the law. That's what's according to the Holy Scriptures, the accounts, who the accounts are talking about. Because somebody get Revelation 1 and start at verse, not 10, start at 10. real quick. Just to prove a point real quick.
Revelation 1 and 10.
Go ahead, man.
Revelation 1 and 10. It was in the spirit of Yahweh's day. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai's day.
So yeah, so John was in the spirit when Yahweh in the day. He was in the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Keep going.
And heard behind me a great voice as of a trumpet.
So he actually heard the spirit, the voice of the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, right? Because Yahweh Shai, you know, he's the voice, he's the image of the invisible God, as it tells you. And keep going.
Verse 11, saying, I am Alpha and Omega.
Right? So the Lord, he comes to earth and he represents the Father, but he is not the Father. Keep going.
The first and the last.
See that? He's the firstborn son, you know? And this is Colossians 1 and 15. It says, who is the image of the invisible power, the firstborn of every creature. For by him were all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth. So the words of this book, people images, how people look, the air you breathe, everything. So I believe he know the truth. Keep going. Let me finish this lock here. It says visible and invisible. So he even created the invisible things, like your mind, you know? Whether they be prone, whether they, but so I know some smart guys out there. Obviously you can manifest your mind to where you can physically see, I guess your mind, but your mind is, in essence, an invisible thing. Kind of, the spirit. It says, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, it don't matter who you is. The Lord, Yahweh Shai, he created it, right? Yahweh created it in the name of Yahweh Shai. It says, all things were created by him and for him. And he is before all things. He's the Alpha. And by him all things consist. He's the Omega, right? It says, and he is the head of the body of the church, who is the beginning, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he might have preeminence. So in all things he has preeminence. So that's what he ultimately means. But keep going. So I believe this person to know, he knows what the scriptures mean, what it meant by when it said this looked like this, etc. These are the things that were laid open by the heathen and changed. Keep going. Now,
And what thou seest.
What that what? That's the point.
And what thou seest.
Starting from the top.
Come. Revelation 1 and 11.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, I am Alpha and Omega.
See that? So this guy is the head honcho. Keep going.
The first and the last.
He's the first and the last that ever was. So he knows what's going on. Keep going.
And what thou seest. Keep going.
Uh-huh.
Write in a book.
So what you see, you're gonna write in the book, not draw. You're gonna write how you see things. Let's get an example. Keep going.
And send it unto the servant, Salakia. Send it unto the 7 churches which are in Asia, unto Ephesius, and unto
What verse is this?
11.
Jump to 12.
Come.
So he's saying he wants these things to be known. Whatever you see, you're gonna write about in the book. You're gonna write about what you see. You're not gonna draw it. Right? Go ahead.
Revelation 1 and 12.
Come
And I turned to see the voice
on. So he turned to see. Go ahead.
that spake with me.
Come
And being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks.
So he followed instructions. He wrote about what he seen. See that? Keep going. So he turned around, and we about to see what he seen. Go ahead.
Verse 13.
Because he's writing. He wrote about it like that voice told him, which is the voice of the first and the last, which is who people ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Yahweh Shai. Go ahead. Hamashiach. Go ahead.
Revelation 1:13.
Okay.
And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
So he seen, when he turned around, he seen a menorah, ultimately, a menorah. That's what he seen. And in the middle of it, because you know it's candlesticks. Like you got a menorah, but you got to put the candlesticks inside it. In the middle of where that candlestick would go, the middle one, he seen what?
Son, so like one like unto the Son of Man.
So he seen one candlestick that looked like a man. Go ahead.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
So he seen a man that had this long, luxurious garment on. Go ahead.
And girt about the paps.
And he was girt. He had a girdle on. Go ahead.
With a golden girdle.
So he had a golden girdle. So he writing about what he seen. He followed instructions. Keep going. We might as well get the whole account.
Correct.
Because this is going to make more sense. Keep going.
Revelation 1:14.
Huh?
His head.
His what?
His head.
So he seen his head. He seen his face. He seen everything. Like he literally seen everything. Which would make sense that it was the Son that came, which is who he seen, the Messiah. Because you can't see the Lord. No man has ever seen the Lord.
This is what Daniel seen too.
He seen the Lord too. He seen the Father, but he seen the back of the Father's head. Because he seen that he had that woolly hair. Keep going.
Did Moses see him?
Moses seen him too. That's the only scripture. Go ahead.
His head and his hairs.
So he seen the top of his head, his hair, and his hairs. Because you know, you got a beard because this is Israelite, Hebrew Israelite man, right? Writing about this. They are commanded to keep beards on their faces. And this is during the time where people weren't malnutrited. They weren't being malnurtured, right? So they could develop properly. So men didn't have patchy beards then. Go ahead. So he seen the hair of his hair, the hair of his head, and his hairs going into his beard, right? Go ahead.
Were white like wool.
They were, all of it was white like wool. Cause you know your sideburns going into your so-called lining goes into your beard. You go right into it. Right into it. Go ahead.
As white as snow.
Eyebrows, everything.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
So they were white like wool. He seen a man he seen a candlestick that looked like a man. He had a long like garment on, and he was girded. And then he looked up and he seen his face, and he said his hair looked like it was like woolly. It looked like wool, right? And the rest of his hair would have had to look like wool. So his beard, etc., right? It was all not only woolly, but it was white, like snow. Go ahead.
Revelation 1:15. And his feet.
And so he looked down and he seen his feet. So that means his feet would have to been exposed, or he would have had some type of sandals on. Go ahead.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
These are all the things that he's seen. These are all the things he was instructed to write about, in which he's seen. So his feet was what?
Like unto fine brass.
When you look up the color brass, it's a derivative of the color copper. What color is copper? Brown. Okay, so his feet was like brown, but it was more detailed to it. Keep going.
As if they burned in a furnace.
So he looked like he been standing in the sun, man, and some fire. So those feet was some dark feet. That was a black man. You know what I'm saying? That was a melanated man. A highly melanated man. His melanin and his skin was highly concentrated. You know, it was potent, it was highly powerful. These are the things that the head honcho told an Israelite man to finish the scriptures off about writing about what you see. And it pertains to me. These are the things that were laid open change according to this right here. Go ahead, brother Ra.
So First Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 48. And laid open the book of the law,
God.
wherein the heathen.
The who?
The heathen.
So the heathen got a hold to the scriptures where there are no pictures. So this is why you got so many images everywhere, because images are constantly wrote about in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? How David looked, how Samson looked, how Saul looked, how Job looked, how the Israelites looked in Lamentations, according to the Lamentations account, how the northern kingdom looked, how the Messiah himself looked, how the Father looked. So this is how you have images of God, laying on clouds, naked, reaching out to angels. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the Israelites looking like they got sunburn. You know what I'm saying? Because the heathen laid open and read these things, and they could read, right? And they said, oh, this saying they look like this. But we're gonna show you it's looking like this. So they laid open so that's the thing right there. They didn't change the words. They lied about the words and showed you the things falsely that the word supposedly says. But the words, what they show you is not what the words originally showed you. The Lord that came, the Alpha and Omega that came, he never looked like a Burnett. You know what I'm saying? He never looked like a Wayne Wonder. One more time, Bob.
It's First Maccabees 3, verse 48. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness.
See? So they sought to paint. They planned on the scriptures. They never changed the scriptures. This is why what they say, reading is fundamental. Go ahead.
Well, the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images.
So they said, we're going to paint things like what this is talking about, but it's going to be in their image. And we're not going to ever paint images that this, of what these actually say. That's what was actually changed. What the scriptures were said to say that the images actually, what the images actually portrayed. They changed what the images were saying that they changed to portray, to portray something else. And that was dumb. So that's how you have Japhet, or you got people not knowing that so-called Italians are originally so-called black people, you know, melanated people, who is known as Japhet. Yeah, what thou seest, man. Write in the book. You know? We bring it out. We're in there with that, and then we're gonna get the we're still looking for the image of Japhet.
Because the Lord's actual words confound every.
And in the midst of the seven candlesticks, one.
Go ahead. Bring it up.
The Lord's actual words, Yahweh's actual words confound everything that Esau did. Which says in Revelation 1 and 11, saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, and what thou seest, write in a book.
So don't draw nothing. So, because all you're gonna have to do is read it, and it's gonna tell you what it's looking like. So this is why we know what it look like. We don't go off images. You know what I'm saying? Because the Bible tell you. The Bible tell you what the Ethiopians look like, what the Hamites look like, and it tell you what Esau will look like. It tell you what everybody look like. Esau only person in the book to say to be a so-called red, be a red person. You know what I'm saying? So the original people of Italy, just off simple sense like that, because that would actually make you a what? If you're the only people out of everybody on the earth is named in the scriptures, right? All those people are images are directly or indirectly spoken about. Why? Because Esau is the only person out of all these images said to be red. So that would make Esau a what? A minority. You see that? So that will automatically infer common sense, logically, that mostly every spot of the earth would have had to originally be black, besides the place where Esau originates. And it ain't Italy. It's Mount Seir. It's caves of Petra. It's Basra. It's the land of Edom. So that right there alone cuts, after you even look for an image of what the original, the only people in the Bible said to be red people was Esau. That's a minority. The Bible said you the minority. It said we're the majority. The earth really consists of mostly Israelites. You really think about it.
That's why they
We cutting it without even pulling out documents. This is the only document. Somebody get that. Ecclesiastes 12 and start at 11. Salakia. Ecclesiastes 12 and start at 11.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes 12 and 11.
Go ahead.
The word of the wise are as, what is it, goats?
Jump to 13.
Alright. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13.
Mm-hmm.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
Nope. Jump to 10.
Come.
Huh.
Ecclesiastes 12 and 10.
Uh-huh.
The preacher sought to find
Mm-hmm.
out acceptable words,
Uh-huh.
and that which was written was upright.
Uh-huh. That which was written was right. So you don't go take a day image and act like that ain't right. Like it say that the Alpha and Omega, he got white woolly hair, but yet they show the Alpha Omega to have long, brown, stringy hair, not woolly. One more time on that, because that ain't even the point.
Ecclesiastes 12 and 10. The preacher sought to find out acceptable words. And
What's really right? What's pure? What you can trust in, right? I can deal with that. That's what you seek it out. Go ahead.
And that which was written was upright.
That which was written is right already. There's no need to correct it. That's why the Lord said, add not to it nor diminish from it. Go ahead.
Even words of truth.
Even its words, it's the truth. That's why we know we're in the truth. That's why we say we're in the so-called truth. Because that's what it says. What we deal with is deemed as the only thing of truth. To say everything else is foolishness outside of this. Right? If it ain't even real science, it tells us about science false cause. We are in the truth. Go ahead. Go tell us the point, though.
The words of the wise are as goads and as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies.
So these are master men that have labored to put together this understanding we are able to obtain to now. It's right. It's fastened in with gold nails, man. You know what I'm saying? Lord is come on, he on another level. Keep going.
Which are given from one shepherd.
See? That's that same Alpha and Omega, man. Go ahead.
And further,
Being Yahweh. And then Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Go
Yahweh
ahead.
Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes 12 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
And further, by these, my son,
By what?
and further, by these,
There you go. Nothing else. By these. What?
my son,
His son. Only the Israelite. Go ahead. So-called blacks, like aka Black Negroes, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native American Indians. Go ahead.
be admonished.
Be admonished. And it's talking to you men, first and foremost. Son. See that? He said, by these be admonished. So it just told you in the first verse, this is right, this is correct. We don't trust the images, none of that. So he can put up 1,000 images. As long as we keep reading this gonna keep cutting. You know what I'm saying? It don't line up, Esau, so-called white man. You know what I'm saying? We don't need images, man. Let's get the point. Salaki. Finish it. This is for you. Go ahead.
Con.
Or this for the brothers. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes 12:12. And further,
For
by
us.
these, my son,
Mhm.
be admonished
Nah.
of making many books,
So I want you to be admonished by this and understand this. Of what?
of making many books,
Of how many?
many
See?
books, there is no end.
See? So you're gonna constantly get books, pictures, documents, so-called proof, etc. It's no end to that. But guess what? None of that stuff is said to be fastened with golden nails, man. And by master men, masterful men, that have come from your bloodline, man. Your seed line. They're the same so-called sperm cells, semen as you, man. You're literally related. You so-called Negroes, blacks, so-called Latinos, and so-called Native American people, man. Go ahead. Scattered across the four corners of the earth. Go ahead.
Of many books,
Uh-huh.
there is no end.
There's no end to that, man. Keep going.
And much study
That's the point.
is
Uh-huh.
a weariness
Uh-huh.
of the flesh.
Right? Because ultimately, we just trust in this, man. Right? If it say what it say. Can somebody get private interpretation? There's no private interpretation. Keep going. I think that's like 1 Peter 1:20 or something like that. Keep going.
Ecclesiastes 12:13.
Mm-hmm.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
Uh-huh.
Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
Uh-huh. Keep going.
For Yahweh shall
Mm-hmm.
bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
I think you skipped something.
Con, I got that. No private interpretation.
Man, what is that? Slovakia. So okay, that's the point on that. Good read. Somebody can get none shall want her mate. Search that. That's the other point to this. You can bring that out, Brother Mahar.
Second
So
Peter.
just search it. None.
Isaiah 34 and
You got it. None shall want her mate. I could have sworn I was in Ecclesiastes.
34:16.
So at first by these, my son, be admonished of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of flesh. So we can go into all the documents all day. You got a lack of faith, man. You know what I'm saying? Your faith ultimately lacking because you read this saying and it's telling you we went into it, right? It tell you what the Jews look like, right?
Yeah.
It tell you what the word Jew derived
I
from.
said we can
You know what I'm
read that
saying?
out too.
It tell you this. It tell you the traits and characteristics of each tribe. You know what I'm saying?
For dark.
You don't need. It's not rocket science, man. It's by process of elimination. Who fit the bill?
Mm-hmm.
Once you able to pinpoint who the so-called white man is, everything else gonna fall into place. Cause he put himself everywhere. That's why he do that. He the samurai. He the Indian. He in Mexico. He Judah. He in Africa. Hey man, everywhere, man. He the Egyptians. You know what I'm saying? He everybody, bro. So you gotta put that man where he go first. Everything else gonna fall in line, man.
So you notice Esau, he never talk about his own history. They never go there.
How you steal, how you kill, nothing. You don't talk about it in its truth.
Yeah, they don't talk about it in true format. They make Thanksgiving out of it, and that's in the scriptures. Thanksgiving, you know, they make their own interpretations.
Here he is wanting to be everybody. That's why I said by these be admonished. You don't be admonished by no documents like that, man. The Lord will give you that though. You know what I'm saying? He will give you them documents. Somebody can get Psalms 84 and 6, I believe that is. Oh, you got that none shall want her mate? You can bring it up.
Isaiah 34:16.
Uh-huh.
Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh
I'm tweaking. That is that triple.
and read.
And do what?
And read.
Seek where?
Seek ye
Out of where?
out of the book of Yahweh and read.
Not draw, not write.
Right. That's it. You gotta put a real emphasis on read because you know Jakes, they don't like to read. That's that and read.
You learned
So
that.
like 85 and 11 Psalms, whoever want to get it.
Learned that in the word. We got this on 2 Peter.
That's it?
No, it's more.
Finish, just a point.
No one of these shall fail.
See, by these be admonished, they been fastened with nails, golden, man,
That's
by
what you read
masters,
it.
and it's coming from the shepherd, man. You see that? Keep going. Is they not going to fail you? Right? The study of much study is a weariness of flesh. Keep going.
No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate.
And you know what it ultimately means by no one of these shall fail? Did what the Lord be said to look like ever change?
Nope.
And worthy? No. He changed the image. Because you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans don't like to read, man. That's your problem. You want to see every damn thing. They tell you seeing is believing.
Trying to be visual learners all
And
the time.
That's in Romans.
That show you.
We in a whole other direction now. But let's keep going.
That'll show you. That just show you we've been off though. You know what I'm saying? That show you we wasn't reading when we was supposed to. That's the reason we got kicked up out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Man, they
Because
said
you wasn't actually looking for yourself. You wasn't searching for yourself.
they found the book. They ain't read the law in like years. During Hezekiah, when they rebuilt the temple, they found the law of the Lord. They was like, oh dang, we is this.
Is
The people of Yahweh.
man.
That's how wicked, Jake, you is. That's why we here. That's exactly why we here now. And you about to be chipped, and a lot of you finna be beheaded, rounded up, and killed, man. You know what I'm saying? By the spirit, power, grace, and Yahweh Basham Yahushua, because that's ultimately saving you. Because he gonna start you over.
Renew.
It's reincarnation, man. Ain't no death, man. You just finna kill this nigga you being now. You know what I'm saying? He's just gonna kill the person you were being now, man. That's what this is going into. Go ahead.
None shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them.
None shall want her mate. Did you go over that part already?
Yeah, I'm read it again.
Yeah, it's lucky.
I'll start from the top.
It's good.
Isaiah 34:16. Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh
Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh. Go ahead.
and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. For my mouth it hath commanded.
See, none. You're not gonna want nothing. Go with this. You're not gonna want to pair something with this when you ultimately get it. Right? Mating. You need something else to mate. This don't mate with nothing. You mate with it. That's the only mating they take place. You don't want to mate for this, another book. Oh, this, I put this with my, you know what I'm saying? Ultimately, this is all you should be carrying at the end of the day. Once you done learned everything, the Lord then shows you certain things, because he deals with artifacts and stuff like that. He does, because he has to. He know you in this flesh. This flesh deal with flesh. It don't deal with spirit. The spirit deals with spirit. That's how you know you have to truly be a spiritual person if you in this flesh being spiritual. You know what I'm saying? Because this flesh don't got nothing to do with that. Nothing. This is why this don't go to the heaven. When you don't take this with you. You don't take them dollars with you. You don't take your damn hair with you. You don't take none of that with you. You take your anatomy of what you actually are with you. You know what I'm saying? What it look like, I don't know. But we talking about what we can see. You know what I'm saying? And seeing is not believing. You know? Truly believing and then seeing is something else. Go ahead. Was that it on that?
I basically reread it.
That's it. Go ahead, Omar. It's lucky.
It's the 2 Peter 1 and 20. It says, knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation.
It say what it say, man. it says what it says. We can't make it be what it want. It say we saying what it say. We reading it for what it say. We not being scared to pull the scripture out, and we bringing the understanding out, man. You know, so ultimately, what he did here in the Apocrypha, changing the images, changing the image, painting his likeness in our image, it didn't amount to nothing because the word stayed the same. You know what I'm saying? And it tell you, just like it stayed saying that Esau was red. It's forever said that. It never changed. Only thing he could actually try to change is meanings when we go into it on the blue letter Bible. When we go into the Maswar, he could try to act like certain scriptures ain't there. That's why you gotta get the actual this. He gave you some physical for your physical. That's the Bible. If you were so-called black, Negro, so-called Latino, Native American Indian, man. That's what he gave you. And didn't he say it ain't gonna fail? It ain't gonna change. Because it ain't no private interpretation. It's impossible. That's how you know the Lord is truly an invisible power in charge, man. Why haven't these words changed? So just off that, so-called original Italians was black people, man. So-called melanated people.
Same with the Irish.
Same with the Irish. Irish. That's why so-called white people are Irish.
The ish.
They always add that ish to them because they understand.
Not nothing, man.
Nothing at all.
You Esau. That's who you is, man.
And the way that
It's
you
just,
know,
it's just the truth. It ain't hate speech. It's just the truth, man. And we do hate you. We hate you with a perfect hatred. Brother want to bring that out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got something? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, another reason why we shouldn't be worried about the images, because if we're not supposed to worship graven images, so
Cut.
go back on that too.
I got
Cut.
this.
We here. You is the image.
Kind
You don't really need that many old images. You still alive. The scripture, somebody want to get that? Matter of fact, because the Lord, he did what you got. Bring that out.
Just these two, just them two at the
Well,
bottom.
see,
Highlight it.
Bring that out.
only way that
we
you
just
gonna
mentioned
know
that.
who Esau is,
We forget.
Perfect hatred. I got
Yeah,
you.
bring it up.
the only way that you gonna know who Esau is by you actually reading the scriptures.
Yeah, we bring this up too.
And you actually go into the words.
Say what you said again. Well, go ahead, it's cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it's,
Go ahead, get it out.
in case they didn't hear it, it's that the only way you gonna know who Esau is you going into the scriptures,
Reading as he told you to
right? Reading it and actually going into the words that he wrote,
do.
that's written in it.
And reading, what is that? He told you to read, so that's a what? A con. Which,
That's a
and if you're
commandment.
going to do that, that would make you what?
Wise.
Con. So that's actually doing what? Fearing the Lord.
Con.
You don't fear the Lord if you ain't reading.
Alright.
See that?
Because you don't fear
They
the
don't
Lord,
fear the Lord.
you're not gonna follow the commandments.
They ain't even opening the Bible. I'm like, man, Ma, say this right here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're like, you don't fear the Lord. That's why he about to come and he about to scare the pants off you people.
I said, you ask yourself, so does the Lord confound himself?
And you go,
Right.
Look, let me get this before I get on code though. So we got the Psalms 139 and 22. I hate them with perfect hatred.
So you're supposed to hate according to the scriptures, right? Can somebody get Acts 5 and 15? Bible Kushai? Let's get some hate. Y'all bring out some hate scriptures.
Acts 5 and 15. Insomuch that they brought forth the sick into the streets and laid them on beds and couches, that at the least of shadow of Peter passing by might overshadow some of them.
No, that ain't it. That's hate the evil and love the good. That's somewhere in here. I think that's Acts. It's 5 and 15 something. Hate the evil and love the good. And if your brothers got other hate scriptures, bring them up. You know?
That's Amos 5 and 15.
It's Amos 5 and 15. It's Malachi, not Acts.
You want to bring it up? You bring it up.
I got it.
Go ahead.
It's Amos 5 and 15. It says, hate the evil and love the good.
Do what?
Hate the evil and love the good.
So if you're if you could govern yourself, and which will be applying wisdom, which means do what the Lord says. What he tell us to do, Lord?
Hate the evil and love the good.
See that? So that's government right there, right? And then our society will start to function. We will be able to see ourselves become better as so-called, as a nation, man. Because we ain't none of these individual people that they tell us we are, man. They want us to not know we're one nation. It's 12 tribes, that's one nation. And they live in the same landmass. You go up the street, you with your brothers. You go up the street, you with your brothers. You go up the street, you with your brothers. And you start with the men because the men bring forth the women. That's why you gotta take care of your brother. You know what I'm saying? If you got if you ain't got nothing but black men, so-called Latinos, so-called Native American men dying, you ain't gonna have none of the damn women. Cause all the men dying. They constantly sick. That's why you gotta love your brothers yourself, man. Who gonna bring forth the Native American woman? Who gonna bring forth the Native, the generations to come? Not the ones that's already here. We talking about the ones that come. Who gonna actually bring them forth if all of them getting shot dead, they strung out, they
diseased.
They dying of basically diseases, but they're dying of basically broken hearts, man. Stress. Jake broken, you know? So we gotta show Jake, like, yo, this is actually talking about you, but how they told you to deal with it, you ain't supposed to actually deal with it. He don't even really want you dealing with, all this stuff. He allow you to deal with so-called artifacts. Go ahead. 85 and 11, Psalms.
I got another Psalms too.
What we got? Psalms 85 and 11. I got it. It says, truth shall spring out of the earth. So truth shall spring out of the earth, right? Truth is the real thing. You know what I'm saying? Can somebody get that word for truth?
Come on.
Uncle Sean?
It is a month.
Yeah, we got whatever y'all got.
A month. Firmness.
So the word in Hebrew for truth is a moth, man. And it's firmness. Keep going.
Faithfulness.
So it's something that's not going to actually break. It's going to stand the test of time. Go ahead.
Sureness.
It's sure. You can believe in it, man.
Reliability.
You can trust in it, man.
Stability.
Hey, man, it's gonna keep you right. It's gonna keep you
upright.
It's gonna keep you right.
Continuance.
You ain't gonna say nothing wrong. It's gonna keep you. Continuance. Go ahead.
As spoken.
As spoken, right? As what's originally been said. That's what's gonna come out of the earth, man. That's the artifacts.
Of divine instruction.
Divine instruction. What is really wanted? What is true springing out the earth? Herbs, plants with seeds, fruits with seeds, not seedless oranges, not seedless apples, not seedless grapes. That's not truth. That's not even coming out the earth. See that? That's why he said, read, this ain't gonna fail you, man. All you gotta do is keep going into it and you gonna pull something new out of it. It's like watching a movie over and over and you finally know that you notice something new every time. You know what I'm saying? Damn, I noticed he had Nikes on. Damn, I never noticed that picture on that wall. Damn, you know what I'm saying? That's how it go, man. This is one big movie. Psalms 90 and 9. Who want to get it? Spirit rolling.
I would say
Let me grab this Psalms.
one more definition
Keep going.
in truth is truth as a body of ethical or religious knowledge.
So the Lord deal with artifacts. He just deal with it not falsely caught. He deals with it in truth. Man.
True doctrine.
So it's okay to go into artifacts, but we don't trust in that. We don't establish our faith off of that. That's just a faith booster. You know what I'm saying? But you don't build your foundation of faith off artifacts and images. See, Esau, he's faithless. He don't want to read this, so he just lies about it with images, what the Lord don't deal with, and that's carnal. That's why you don't see the Lord. But ultimately, you do see the Lord. You look at the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? You look at who's keeping his truth. That's how you see the Lord, man. And that's gonna manifest to him actually coming down, man. Go ahead.
True doctrine, surety, establishment, trustworthiness, faithful, right, sure, true, verity.
That's what artifacts actually bring forth. right? True artifacts. When they find our bones in our heads, and then they do the reconstruction of how they would look today, and it always turned out to be a so-called black person. You know what I'm saying? What does that tell you? That's the truth. And I tell you, everybody on the earth is always melanated. You see that? So Esau will still be walking around red then, because the word didn't change. Who read? You wanna know who read? These people read.
You said Psalms 90 or what?
99.
I got it.
Bring it up. This is who read. These people. See that?
You put it up there?
Pass it around to brothers. Swipe to them. That's who read. The red people still gonna be walking around. Matter of fact, we let them see that first. They know. Yeah, the screen.
It's terrible.
You know? Because the word didn't change, man.
Looks fucking disgusting.
You know? That's who read.
This your the Christian's guide. This y'all guide who y'all believe in.
Yeah, that's Jesus. That's who coming back. Somebody that look like that. They gonna laugh.
That's that somebody who could burn in the sun.
Right. Right, he inferior to the sun. That's crazy.
Man, make no sense. That's it. Actually break down what you're putting in people's faces.
That's crazy, man.
Man, that's like how they said Yahweh's birthdays in the winter.
That alone is in the scriptures. They don't even tell you what month. That's not even in here. They just tell you the season. You know?
Why
Or
you
they
like
give you an insight to the season that he was born in. And it had to be not in the winter because the stars was out, man. You don't even see stars in the winter like that. If I'm not mistaken.
But that's that the winter is the point in time or the certain season when plants start to die.
Right.
Springtime is when things start to come back alive.
So why would the Lord be born during spring? Which would make sense. Why everything? Why would it make sense? Why would it make sense for the Lord to not have been born during spring? They say the Lord was born in winter, December. Why would he be born while everything is dead?
Yeah,
He would be born during a rebirth. Thus his birth signifying rebirth. Because when the Lord came, now we get the kingdom. That's why when he came, that star shot through the sky. That's why I'm saying, by the Spirit, you don't really see stars in the winter. You know what I'm saying? Because the sky is different due to the climate change, the weather change, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, don't they have winters in Israel too?
Yeah. You ain't gonna see no star shooting and men coming to something big.
Traveling through the blizzard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, do it for the Lord, but that don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? And then the Lord was a baby during that time, out in the
Out
manger.
in the manger.
You know what I'm saying? He's still a baby, huh?
He gonna be out in the cold.
Yeah. It's still nippy. Yeah, so yes, he was wrapped up. He's a baby. Don't all babies get wrapped? You can't even have your baby go out in the summertime with too much wind. You gotta throw a cover over them because they can't take the wind. As soon as the wind hit their face, they you know?
That's that. How you expect them to be able to take that when they first come out? They got their eyes closed.
A baby gonna take the ice cold winter when his parents don't even have a home. Remember, they was moving around.
Right.
They moving around during that time because they was looking for the Lord to kill them because of the prophecy. Herod.
Also, it wouldn't make sense for the ultimate power son to be not in sync with everything that's going on around it. That just wouldn't make sense.
I'm gonna just come back at the most random time during winter so everybody can worship my birthday on my.
You know what that sounds like? Straight confusion.
Yeah, that sound like folly.
Sound like Christianity.
I know you got something up. Alright.
Let
And
me,
that's perfect because we on the topic of Israel.
let me get this Psalms 119 and 104, and then we'll get to the 90 and 9.
Come on.
So Psalms 119.
Once you have the problem. Go ahead.
Okay. Psalms 119, 104. It says, "Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way."
So that's a double whammy right there. So once again, You got to read. One more time, Bob. One more time.
Psalms 119 and 104.
Mm-hmm.
Through thy precepts,
Mm-hmm.
I get understanding.
So what is a precept? It's
You read it.
it's a commandment, right?
Scriptures, right?
So the commandments tell you to do what?
Read.
Right. And if you read, you will be what?
Wise.
So the scripture's really telling you to be.
To be wise.
There you
Read,
go.
read to be wise.
So you get that
To
out of it.
gain understanding.
Right. But that's hold that. Once you do it, you'll realize what you're doing
Mm-hmm.
and why you're doing it. That's when the understanding comes in.
And
Because
that's
you're like, yeah, the Lord can kill me, but you really see the benefits and why He told me to do that. Not just because He can kill me. You know what I'm saying? Finish, brother. Baba Kashaw?
Psalms 119 and 104.
Yeah, I got it.
Through thy precepts, I get understanding. Therefore, I hate every false way. And that's the that's why that's a double-sided scripture right there. So through the precepts, you got the understanding. So therefore, I hate every false way. You hate every false way because these scriptures tell you.
You hate that false balance.
The scriptures tell you to hate. Period. Who wrote that? David. David wrote that. A man that was said to have a mind unto the Most High, man. But what you say? If you hate what you say a word, you said what?
Oh, that they hate that false balance. That you should hate that false balance.
You learned that through reading these precepts.
Exodus 15 and 3. So like Exodus 15 and 3 says, Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is His name. That's a powerful scripture in itself. If they know God's all love,
Yeah.
the Most High is all love.
But that's where do you usually hear that from? Pastors. Or are you reading that from somewhere? That He's all love? No.
You winging it.
The water. I got Isaiah 35:4. It says, "Say to them that are fearful, that are of a fearful heart, or mind, meaning be strong, fear not. Behold, your power will come with vengeance, even Yahweh with a recompense. He will come and save you."
So He gonna come with that recompense, man. He gonna pay back all those people that have been trying to make you and your people feel inferior.
I got Isaiah 61.
Fun, man.
Yeah.
This is Isaiah 61 and 4. Prophecy. And they shall build the old wastes. They shall raise up the former desolations.
Go ahead, go into the park.
Come.
And they shall repair the waste cities, the desolations of many generations. And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks.
Man.
And the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen and your vine dressers.
So this is good news, man. AKA the what? Gospel.
Gospel, good tidings.
That's saying that you people that want to steal and say that you're the images, you're the saints, you know, and you want to lie to the saints and have them worshiping
Isaiah 61
the,
and 5.
you know, sweet baby Jesus, Jesus Cristo, goddamn, the Santa Maria.
I love my dear.
You know what I'm saying? What else? Goddamn, etc. Man. All type of stuff. You people don't even know who Quetzalcoatl is, man. They think it's a damn dragon. That wasn't talking about no dragon, man. You forgot who Quetzalcoatl was. Guami Kina. You know who none of these people are, man. You say that to a so-called Puerto Rican,
Isaiah 61 and 4.
they gonna shake in their boots. Like they seen a ghost. Remember that? Yeah.
You said Quetzalcoatl?
Nah, the Guami Kina said that to what's it called? She's like, yeah. She's like, that's so. She's like, that's so. And she's like, how do you know about that? She's like, he's like, you too young and all this other stuff.
She's
Like, he's like a few ages older than me. I mean, how you know?
That's it. You gotta
You
hear.
don't know.
You gotta hear with the scripture. That's it. You're not supposed to look at a man after his countenance.
See, I said that to her. She thought she seen a ghost.
Yeah, she was.
That just was crazy.
But I'm 64.
You asked him about that yet? Guamikina?
Nah.
Go to Ephraim. The Ephraim side, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Somebody got
You go listen to that nigga.
Somebody know.
They go.
Yeah, they gonna tell you.
They gonna start throwing that holy stuff on you.
They do with the eggs.
You know how they do that.
Yeah, crack an egg on your head.
Give you some hugs and love.
Yeah, they gonna crack an egg on your head, roll your sock halfway on your foot, put a potato on it. That's what they gonna do. They got all type of crazy ass movies. They crazy, bro.
Now let's get back to it.
Yeah.
I got this First Maccabees chapter 3 verse 35. So it says, to wit, that he should send an army against them
Against who? You would?
to destroy
To destroy who?
and root out
And root out who?
the strength of Israel
You going?
and the remnant of Jerusalem.
Okay. So it was a point we was rooted out. That's happened already. That was a prophecy that passed already. So you would dot that. Boom, done. Okay. We ain't gotta go through that anymore. Let's keep going.
And to take away their memorial
Alright.
from that place.
If somebody get the word for memorial, it should be not Messiah, I believe. In the Hebrew, Messiah, memorial. Word for Hebrew and word for memorial in Hebrew should be Messiah.
Yeah, I got one more verse after that. Keep going, or you want me to grab that first?
Grab the Hebrew.
Okay.
That's the point. Memorial. You lost your memorial, the true memorial. Now you worshiping something called Memorial Day. A day about remembering you not remembering. Ultimately.
The day you lost the car. Right. What?
You got it out?
Memorial?
Yeah.
No, that ain't right. Put in what's that?
I looked it up.
Go to
See,
this.
the English don't ever do the Hebrew any justice at all. Cause the English.
Oh, you said you Googled it? Is this the Hebrew?
Yeah, I looked it up on the blue letter.
No, I'll get this one.
Cause it's like the
Yahweh.
definition of the
Yahweh,
scripture.
Yahweh, it said in the scriptures, Yahweh Nasai, Yahweh Nasai, right? That's Messiah in the Hebrew, which is when Moses built that's when he built the brother can like Google that scripture real quick. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Here it is. It's Exodus 17 and get the Hebrew word for that. And Moses what? Matter of fact, bring that out real quick. And then go into it. And then we can give it back to the brother. Bring the verse out. That 15th verse.
Exodus 17 and 15.
Come.
And Moses built an altar
Mm-hmm.
and called the name of it
Mm-hmm.
Yahweh Nisai.
Right? Which they got in the English to say Jehovah Nisai. But that has a meaning of why he named it that. Keep going.
For he said,
Mm-hmm.
because Yahweh has sworn
Mm-hmm.
that Yahweh will have war
Mm-hmm.
with Amalek.
So link up with what the brother War brought out. You know what I'm saying? The Lord not all love, he's war. And then it's going into some history too. But more importantly, what the brother just pulled out. Go into that word for the Jehovah Nasai. What's up? What does that mean? Or what does it say?
Yahweh is my banner.
Mm-hmm.
The name given by Moses to the altar which he built in commemorate, commemor, or memorial,
Let me see.
commemoration.
Commemoration.
It's a commemoration, man.
Commemoration.
It's a memorial, right? That's for the Lord to. He built that as a sign for the Lord to always remember. That's the true Memorial Day. How that the Lord's always gonna have war with Amalek. Who is Amalek? The head Edomites claiming to, basically telling everybody. So the Israelites are so-called white people. God's so-called white man. They're the so-called Jews. That's why the Lord is gonna war with them, because you are changing the memories, you know what I'm saying, of the true Israelites. So this is why he's gonna war with you. So Moses even noted that, right? Moses noted that with a stone after the war we had when Joshua discomfited the Amalekites, which are today known as so-called Jews, right? But they're actually Edomites, pretended. Right, have stolen the land. They're the ones who actually opened the book and changed and made images to falsely portray what they said that it was talking about. You know? So the Lord's gonna have war with you for that, man.
We start from 13, so they get a little idea.
Yeah, you could, but you keep going on the meaning unless that's it on that.
You basically explain the rest of the meaning.
Yeah, so I mean that's Yahweh Messiah. Yahweh Messiah being basically Hebrew for commemoration or memorial, you know, to remember. But let the finish on that real quick, because that's gonna basically back up where I think it's going. I think that's where it's going.
Next. Okay, so this first Maccabees chapter 3, verse 35.
Mm-hmm.
It says, to wit, that he should send an army against them
For war, see?
to destroy and root out the strength of Israel.
So the Lord sent Esau to come grab Jacob with all that hate that he had for Jacob. Like, you motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And he rooted us out. Who better to do it than your number one enemy? He hates you. And he still hates you. He gonna always hate you. Ain't that what the scripture say?
That's what the Lord said to Rebecca.
But he's such a devil, he lying to you to your face. Well, I don't hate you, buddy.
That's it.
He got an AK-47 in his back pocket, or behind his back, and a vaccine in his sock, and a chip in his pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
With a dang drone flying over your head.
Yeah.
All the gadgets.
That's then the Lord. He said the word ain't gonna change. So how could the people change? The Israelites couldn't change. Don't the scriptures say, you know what? Real quick segue. Somebody get Jeremiah 4:22. Real quick, just to prove a point. Just to prove the point of what we on.
41.
All of this stuff truly still stands, man. Let's prove it. Everything stands. No bias.
4 and 22.
Come on, Jeremiah.
It's, Jeremiah 4 and 22. For my people is foolish.
This people foolish, man. Keep going.
Let me read that here. For my people is foolish.
So the Lord said his people foolish. That means, so that's what that said, right? That means they still foolish. We still reading this. Go ahead.
They have not known me.
They have what?
They have not known me.
And you still don't know the Lord. Go ahead.
They are Sodom's children.
Why don't you know the Lord? Because they changed the memory. Because they opened up the book. Because you were rooted out. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord is still warring with Amalek for the things that he does, which is lie and steal and manipulate.
Cheat.
Everything is ultimately led by Amalek. That's why it's so important to know about Amalek and who Amalek is. He is the one that actually, that's Esau. Amalek. The Amalekites is the top of Esau. They run the NBA, they run the NFL, they run the sports, they run the media, they run Tel Aviv, they run everything. You know what I'm saying? They fund the war. They fund the banks. They own the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, which it started off as the Bureau of Chemicals, the Bureau of Chemistry, and they just changed the name to say Food and Drug Administration. So everything they approve really got chemicals in it. So that's what that company actually is, the chemical company. That's Amalek. That's why the Lord gonna war him for generation to generation, and that's why the Lord said hate. If you not hating the evil and instead of loving the good, guess what? You gonna end up getting in bed with the devil and making pleas and bargains and deals and covenants with him, man.
Kids.
And you gonna sacrifice your kids and have them cutting off their rod and telling them that they name Zaya Wade instead of Zion. And then the little boy name was Zion. That's super spiritual. You changed his name from Zion so he could become Zaya because you gave your son up to Molech, dude. The Lord gonna kill you, Dwayne Wade. If you don't repent and come into the truth, he gonna kill you. Go ahead.
First,
Yeah, look, so the people, none of these words change. The Israelites are still foolish. Keep going on that.
First Maccabees chapter 3.
Salakia, Ra. You got more. There you go.
Go ahead.
And they have none understanding.
They ain't got no understanding, man.
They are wise to do evil.
Oh, it's not. Hey,
I was say, Hosea 4:6 go.
go ahead.
Go grab that one. Charge on that one.
Nuh-uh. Yeah. Close. Go ahead, real quick.
They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge.
So do good, you don't know.
Box.
You didn't know in the past time how to do good and how to have true wisdom. You still don't know, man. And that's what you see. Salaki, that's what you see.
You need it. Right.
My iPhone charger.
Nothing new under the sun.
You know, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. So that's it on that. And then you go ahead and hard as you.
I was at Hosea 4:6 go well with the understanding of them being foolish.
Go ahead, bring it up. Go ahead.
Hosea 4:6.
Mm-hmm.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
So you still don't remember who you are. And in order for you to know who you are, you have to know something, but you don't know anything. So it's impossible for you to know who you are. You don't know anything.
They have no understanding.
So, but you can't even get to understand the level. In order to understand, you gotta have something to know about. You have to know something first, apply it, and then keep doing it, and then eventually get why you do it. That's understanding. The Lord said you destroyed for lack of knowledge. You really don't know anything. So it's impossible for you to know who you are because you basically don't know anything.
And you don't want to know anything either. You
That's
reject it.
That's why he said that you're foolish, you're sottish, you're stupid children, man. He said that then, and you still are. Then he said this is not going to change, it's not going to fail. He told you his people destroyed for lack of knowledge. So that's the fix right there. Tell them something now. So, but so-called white man, he used that to his benefit. They're destroyed? Okay, don't tell them less now.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them more lies, and they'll really be destroyed. You know, Jake always making up new stuff. Black Panthers, Young Lords Party, goddamn, all type of crap, man.
Bohemian Grove.
That's Esau. You know what I'm saying?
But you know Jake like to.
Cling on. But you always making up stuff, you know what I'm saying, of your own, that's not even you. Keep going.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power,
So you forgot. See? So that's why Moses, Masha, he set up a memorial way back when. You know what I'm saying? Because Jake got amnesia problems.
That's it.
He said, this is to let you know that we warn with you from generation to generation, because we the people of the Lord. I'm going to let know he warned with you, but we didn't know that at a point in time. And some of our people still don't know that. They don't know those people actually warned with them. They sit around and do not know this. They got somebody ready to come kick their door in right now and push their face in. You know what I'm saying? Right now.
They're actually plotting in their heads how they're gonna try to take you down.
All of that. Mercenaries.
And that's why you are destroyed, because you still don't know.
You foolish.
So until you know, and that's as a whole, we gonna be destroyed. You know.
They just brought out that law, the 666 law,
Yep.
where you're
You trying to be.
going to people's crib and forcefully take them out, take them to the hospital.
Take them to the hospital.
Yeah.
Your ass going to a FEMA camp.
Con.
And they gonna push your wig back. That's what they gonna do. They gonna peel your muffin cap back blue. That's what they gonna do. Cause that's all Jake gonna do is laugh and watch old stuff they always watch. Watch the old. How many times you gonna watch Kevin Hart stand up? Ain't nothing funny no more, Jake. That's your deal. You like Smokey. You all day, man. You walk up the street playing. So you like rehearsing and reminiscing.
No.
Playing. Ain't nobody playing. The only one playing is you. You know what I'm saying? That's Jake. That's all of Jake. Everybody playing, cracking jokes. Come on, man. Come on. And then they got all of Jake on there. Hector. You know what I'm saying? Fucking with Smokey. You know what I'm saying? Smokey and Hector bugging out.
Mm-hmm.
Angel dust. It's angel dust, Holmes. You know what I'm saying? That's Jake. In the hood, idle, finished. Destroyed for lack of knowledge. I'm in the pigeon coop sweating like a slave. You know what I'm saying? Like a slave. That was a subliminal message, man. And it went right over your head, man. I'm in Debo pigeon coop sweating like a slave. You got somebody right now ready to come push your cat back, man. Your kids. Because this is how they feel, your ugly ass kids. And etc., man. They hate you. They hate your babies. This is real war, man. This is not a game. Keep going, brother. All right. Let's go ahead and go into it.
Perfect segue. So, First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 35. To wit, that he should send an army against them.
See that? That was the thing that has been is the thing which shall be. Another army finna come get you too. Go ahead.
To destroy and root out the strength of Israel.
So they're gonna come get the biggest. They got men they already watching that they gotta get. Esau always been tactical like that. He really want the men of the Lord first. Because we the most dangerous.
So the strength of Israel and the remnant of Jerusalem.
Because we the true strength. They tell you strength is with the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
And to take away their memorial from that place.
See that? So they low-key probably found the rock because that one said to be hid. They probably found the rock that Masha put up and threw it down.
They wrote some Yiddish on it. So First Maccabees chapter 3, verse 36 is the continuation. And that he should place strangers in all their quarters.
See that? So not only did they take your image, they took your home. But you don't even care. Somebody want to get Isaiah 1 and 3? You just get more creative with the same scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't need that much for Jake.
Isaiah chapter 1, verse 3.
Jake gonna bleed all out over this. Go ahead.
The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib.
So the ox knows his owner. The ass his master's crib.
But Israel
But Israel,
doth not know,
which is a people before it's a place. But Israel what?
does not know,
You don't know.
my people does not consider.
They don't care. So they don't know. Those are the same people destroyed because they don't know anything, really. You know what I'm saying?
Neither do they consider.
Can we get that word for consider? Let's see, let's really go into what the Lord means. You know what I'm saying? Because we could say all day, but what the Lord means. Because I'm sure Esau ain't changed that.
Consider is to discern.
Let's get the word. What's the Hebrew word for it?
Bayan.
Bayan.
Bayan. Go ahead.
To discern, understand, consider, perceive.
Slow down.
Salaki.
Mm-hmm.
Perceive,
Mm-hmm.
distinguish.
Mm-hmm. So you can't even make out Jake perception off.
You can't separate mentally. You can't. You mentally you can't
Discern, right?
discern what is what.
Jake don't know how to cross the street.
And that's real though. Man.
You basically like a baby. You like a big baby. You like a 42-year-old baby.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all remember Avatar. That's what she told. I mean, but she was talking to Jake. But what dude named Jake in the movie?
It was.
Yeah, she told him, you like a baby. You know what I'm saying? You like a baby. Like that's
That movie about you.
right.
But you can't see that. Cause somebody get eyes that they see, ears that they hear not. That's all throughout the scriptures.
Yeah, that's
Seeing what they see. You just don't. This is going into consider. Ultimately, you don't consider nothing. Jake come outside with Kool-Aid stains on their shirt. You know what I'm saying? That was used to be a real thing. Now Jake just, oh, go ahead, it's like, now,
Which one, my grandma, or you want me to
do
do
it. No, it was more on that, on the meeting. If it wasn't, it's cool.
No, that's it.
Yeah, so you don't discern. You just don't care. You don't go into nothing. You don't look both ways when you cross the street. You don't see what's wrong with your kids before you be like, shut up, quack quack. Shut up, quack quack. You know what I'm saying? Come out. In the middle of the mall, yelling at a 2-year-old that ain't ate all damn day.
No better. He walking. More got little bitty pegs for legs. You got this man walking through a mall while you shopping. Man. And you expecting little Quay to deal with you. Man.
So I got Romans 11:7. It says, "What then? Israel had not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded."
So we attained what we was looking for. Jake, you went and planned to get in line for the new Jordans, the new Jordan 7s that came out today, and you couldn't even get them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You couldn't. The election, they received stimulus checks. But somehow, Jake, you in the world every day and you ain't get one. See that? There's hella brothers at the point of my day. You get yours. I ain't gonna tell you, but I hear you ain't got yours. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's funny. I ain't even looking for a stimulus check. You know? I ain't looking for that. The hell I care about Esau money for. If I get it, it's a blessing from the Lord. I'm gonna do something with it. You know? But you ain't obtaining what you seeking for. But the election, what we seeking for, we obtaining it, man. And we obtaining what you actually looking for. On the right hand side. It's like it,
I got the eyes that can't see. I'm still trying to get to it.
Let me finish.
Go ahead, Ike.
It is Romans 11:8. It says, "According as it is written, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see,
It's all through. With the other one too.
and ears that they should not hear unto this day."
Man, you got literally, You gotta stay up all night, never go to sleep, slumber party. But somehow you sleep still. Somehow y'all still went to sleep. It's crazy, man. It's bugged out.
Everybody.
It's bugged all out, man.
So this that Mark chapter 8, verse 18. This Yahushua speaking. It says, having eyes, see ye not, and having ears, hear ye not, and do ye not remember?
So you see, you done heard growing up all the time. Yeah, hell like war. What it? No, he wasn't. He didn't look like. No, that. And somehow you got Caesar Borgia plastered on your wall, right next to your flat screen.
Alright, just.
They see Job 9:24, but they don't consider it. They see that every day. They know. Like, Jake knows. Man, we don't got nothing, man.
Job 9:24 is basically saying what Jake knows, the white supremacy. That's basically what it's saying. That's white supremacy. The earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. What all Jake say? Man, this white man keeping us down, man.
Yeah.
Go read Job 9:24. Oh man, brother, here you go with that Bible stuff, man. Why you just can't just be cool? You gonna be destroyed.
You know, the conscious community, they call it the pretty words and pretty scriptures.
The conscious community.
It's dead now. You ain't hear from the niggas now.
Man.
It's crazy. No battles, debates, nothing.
Wait, what did you and your brother say? They checked in, but really checked out.
Checked out. They all the way checked out. I got
Them
Jeremiah.
niggas never even checked in.
Niggas thought they said it.
In order to be checked out, you have to check in at some point. You never even checked in.
He tried to go to the front desk. Hey, the mother said, yeah, I'll be right with you. Never got with him.
Right. Nobody wasn't even there.
Scared me.
That's bad. That's what's that movie? Jacob's Ladder. You thought your reality was something it wasn't.
He really thought he was checked in.
You never even went to a hotel to check in. You
What did he say at the end? He was like, it was nice to have a good taste of your life for a little bit.
I gotta rewatch it because I wasn't even watching it with the volume up.
Man. When his
crazy.
brother was holding him after he got to seeing the girl that was on him having the devil wings.
Yeah, damn devil riding his ass to ecstasy. Jake laying down with demons. The devil started like
he got on the floors.
He's got my demon at home. You know what I'm saying?
Thinking that you thought the thought that you think that you thought. Thinking that you thought you think. Man, that shit.
Knowing you coulda, you woulda. Type shit.
Man.
I can't stand Jake, bro. Cause I'm talking, there's hella niggas out here like this right now on that wave.
Man. And that's like art.
I'm talking about, that's all.
So called. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say all these women out here talking about some now. I'm looking for that vibe. I'm looking for that one with that vibe. I'm looking for somebody that got that vibe. Oh,
Is that that vibe that's gonna get you killed?
that's that same female that got a little quay walking around in the mall screaming with a white T-shirt on like it's 2002 again with some Jordans, dressed like he 28. You know what I'm saying?
With a bag of McDonald's.
Chips, a bag of chips you won't even eat.
A bag of hot flavors.
He jumped up and down because he's just not being loved, nothing, man. That's really what they trying to tell you. They be screaming and just like, won't you just, lady. I got a scripture, Lamentations 4:3. Even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people has become cruel. Like the ostriches in the wilderness. And if you look into it, ostriches, I'm gonna actually go look into it, but supposedly word is, ostriches, they always accidentally stepping on their eggs. You know what I'm saying? Because they stupid creatures. That's what the Lord basically saying.
They overly big too for no reason. Extra long legs. So you know they stumbling.
So he said even the sea monsters, because we all mammals. That's the point, right? A mammal is basically an animal that feed off their mother, I believe, right?
It has hair. They got specific details.
Yeah, we all mammals.
Okay.
You know, so you women are mammals. You're likened unto, sea creatures. The difference is they actually breastfeed. A lot of you women don't even breastfeed. You go straight for the Infamil, the formula, and now your baby cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and you wondering why. You know what I'm saying? You named them Quatrez, Moreko, you know what I'm saying? And you call him Quay for short. You know, you never picked the little dude up. You don't even have a stroller. You know what I'm saying? And he barely weighs 5 pounds. You know what I'm saying? But he got a big chain on. It's just crazy, man. That's it.
It is pissed. He got a chain. He got the new J's that released.
He said, even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people is become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness.
That shit's crazy, yo. You never got nothing in the fridge.
Yeah.
You got the infrared that just dropped.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Go post a picture.
It's like I said.
Well, Red do.
It's more just like a grown man. You know what I'm saying? Like they really dress kids like grown men.
Yeah.
So you dress your son like the man you want to come talk to you. That's gonna pop you and leave.
But then you gonna get mad that he get shot and the cop said I thought he was a man.
Tyrell, you dress your baby Quay like Tyrell.
Man.
That bought you the new Jordans and took you to McDonald's. No, he went and got you some chicken and waffles.
Yeah.
That nigga gonna say, you good? like that's a good meal or something. You good?
Is you happy?
You wanna go back to my crib? Like that's enough.
Man.
It's Jake.
You end up getting shot with Tyrell. You get shot with Tyrell and now with little Quay.
Listen, y'all
He
sitting
really
outside,
confused.
y'all sitting outside the house for a good 15 minutes. Had muggers already plot how they was for the pool, do a quick drive by.
Yeah, you kill Tyrell and then you get hit with him. Yaquanda. Yeah, her name is Yaquanda.
Man.
They call it Zay for sure.
Yeah, we both say Zays. And your best friend named Zay.
Quay is it?
She a woman too. She a female too.
But
She got 5 kids though. Yeah, Jake just bugged out, man. We tore up from the floor up, ready to throw up, as they say. I got something
Yeah, I got
to close out in a minute.
Jeremiah. Really, I got 2.
Everybody going some prophecy real quick. He did slide him hard and didn't finish what he had. Going on with Jake. You keep going.
For me,
Whoever want to go. No matter.
I had,
Go ahead, I had moved on.
you said what?
No, you can go ahead. I said I moved on from where I was at.
I had something to go with what you was reading, Mahar. It's Proverbs 16:4 says, the Lord, Yahweh, has made all things for himself, yeah, even the wicked for the day of evil.
And what was that day of evil? You go ahead. What you say?
That's using Amalek as the sword to break Jake down. They was disobeying, being disobedient children.
I'm like, hold up, just bounce off that. This is Genesis 27:41.
You might as well go back, right?
It says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, his love, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
That's his baby.
Jake,
That's his baby. That's Jake baby. That's Jake baby.
who's my baby? Is that?
This is my baby. This is my baby.
That baby got a credit score of 720 right now.
That one was grown as hell.
Hope to work for you someday. He said that baby is right skinned, not light skinned.
Jake got his hair slicked back. Like he got long hair. That's crazy.
Man,
Jake baby. That's something else. Jake baby out. Taking their babies. Jake be so proud. Jake like a big baby.
that's why Jake. That's why Jake. You gotta hold up. You get to play with it.
What you want this one?
And Jake feel like he
It's
owns.
Eve.
He owns some Esau.
This what I was telling you about earlier.
That's Eve.
That's what they programming.
That's
Yeah.
Eve. That's Eve and the serpent. Eve back in the garden. This is a photo shoot. Just for this.
Everything is photo shoot just for that. Nowadays, everything you see.
She went right over her head. She didn't care.
She
So-
said, a check?
Look, she like so.
This my rent money. I don't care. And you know there's, I don't say it was like naked.
Yeah, 'cause she clearly was.
So you know they do that.
From the waist up. What we can see. There's no presumption. Presumptuousness. That's
I
like.
said you can go back to Bird Box with it too. They had a black dude, Jake, with
It's
Sandra Bullock.
really Jake in the spirit. They just don't know it.
Contract broken. Broken spirit.
That's what our eyes see.
But they just can't see.
Yeah, that's the mask.
That's what our
That's the
eyes
mask.
saw.
Yeah. That's really those pictures.
That's what we see.
Like we really over here smiling. He was over there truly feeling like that.
Jake don't see this. You know what I'm saying?
This is I'm gonna bring out Malachi
Jake.
1 and 2.
Crying on the street, not even dressed like this, but really this is who he is.
That's his spirit.
That's that
That's
damn.
his spirit.
That's that damn. What they do with Issachar? Put the damn sombrero.
Yeah.
And he got his name. And he got his ephod on too.
Man.
So-called contra.
I can see that some artists putting that as their cover, being all depressing and stuff.
I didn't even know what they put though.
Yeah, they depressed. They really depressed. Like
They putting them spells out. That's how they get everybody else depressed too.
that's how they get around.
Everybody in that state.
Go ahead, Or
Come. So Malachi 1 and 2, it says, I have loved you, saith Yahweh, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith Yahweh. Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh hath indignation forever.
So that's the prophecy, man. That's ultimately what the Lord about to do. The Lord is about to destroy everything you Can somebody get, the Lord bring it to naught the counsel of the wicked?
Wait, say it again.
The Lord bring it to naught the counsel of the wicked, the vices of the wicked, their enterprises, etc. Trying to bring out the big boy. Let me get this. This is Psalms 34 and verse 21. It says, evil shall slay the wicked. Evil shall slay the wicked, and they that hate the righteous shall be desolate. So that's literally talking about you so-called white people, you Edomites, man. Evil good for to get ready to slay you because you hate the righteous, man. You everything you do is aimed towards us. It's the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Let me get this. Psalms 1 and Psalms 2 and 1. Why doth the heathen rage, and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves together. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord, against Yahweh, and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. So there you go, man. The Lord is seeing every day that you're brewing up right now, man. You can try to come with your UBI, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna do nothing, man. The Lord is about to bring you down in the pit that you're building for everybody else. This is Psalms 9 and verse 15. It says, the heathen are sunk down in the pit that they made. In the net which they hid, there is their own foot taken. So everything you're setting up is about to backfire. You bringing that shit, you making up these vaccines that's really about to kill people. Guess what? It's ultimately finna bring forth the end of your world. 2 Ezra 6 and 9. It says, for Esau is the end of the world. But that's going to happen. It has to happen by a series of events. And guess what? Those events are going to be brought forth by your own counsels. So you also be about to end yourself. You bring forth that chip. You bring forth this vaccine. You reopen this place, these states, knowing it's really truly a plague out here, killing people. And more people die, you're getting closer and closer to ending your own supremacy. That's why you can't beat the Lord. It's impossible. It says, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. That's actually what you're just trying to stop. Everything you're doing, you're trying to counter the Lord. But he's better than Floyd as a counterpuncher. Right?
Come on.
You can't counter the Lord. Every time everything you're doing is you're trying to counter him. That's why it's always something new every day. First is the 666 law. There's UBI. Then it's the stimulus check. Then it's reopening. Then it's a second wave possibly coming. Now it's the vaccine is definitely promised by the end of the year. You know, it's just nuts, man. You people don't know what you want to do, man. Because you're scared.
I got some scriptures.
What you got?
You know, say Proverbs 26 and 27. Whoso diggeth the pit shall fall therein.
So there you go. Whoso diggeth the pit shall fall therein, man. I said a man reap what he sowed. See that? What it's like if you plant tomatoes you're gonna expect tomatoes, man. Right? If you dig a pit, expect people to fall in. Expect someone to fall in. So you're gonna fall in. You know? It's if you build a pit for people to fall in, aren't you a person? So that means you're subject to that too. Right? So that's why you do good. So righteousness follow after. But you don't have a righteous bone in your body.
And he that rolleth a stone, it will return unto him.
I got another scripture. That's it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got one more to go with the digging of a pit.
Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes, Sirach 27 and 26.
Mm-hmm.
Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he. No, I'm Slaki. That's Ecclesiastes. Right? Okay, I'm reading that wrong myself. 27 and 26. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that setteth a trap shall be taken therein.
So there you go. That's a trap. You also want to bring forth. You want to give everybody money to ultimately make them more poor.
Mm-hmm.
That's a trap, man, and it's about to backfire. Cause you bringing that chip, it's gonna bring the Lord, the man that said in Isaiah the 63rd chapter to outright stomp you out. You know what I'm saying? He's going to kill you, right? And he's gonna do it by himself. This is Psalms chapter 10 and 4. You can't 4. It says Psalms chapter 10 verse 4. It says the wicked through pride of his countenance will not seek after God. So based off everything you done built, your accomplishments, your gazebos and gazelles and antelopes, heads on the wall, your bear, your 9-foot bear that you shot in the forest and killed, and you took him home and skinned him. Because you see all these things, you know, that's in the middle of your skyscraper downtown, you know, President Trump is your third cousin. Because of all these things, you ain't gonna seek after the power. You know what I'm saying? Because you think you're the power. You know? And you ultimately think so-called, you done painted the Most High, Edomite so many times, you think he an Edomite. You really believe that.
Alright, scripture to go through too.
Go ahead.
It's Psalms 37 and 28. It says, for the Lord loveth judgment, and forsake not his saints. They are preserved forever.
Start over, call that again.
It's Psalms 37 and 28.
Mm-hmm.
For Yahweh loveth the judgment, and forsaketh not his saints.
So the Lord, he loved judgment. He loved righteous perception. And he ultimately loved slaying you wicked, man. You know what I'm saying? He loved righteous reward, right? He loved giving out the work that's been put in, giving back the fruits of the labor that's been sold. You know, he loves doing that. The scriptures tell you that the Apollos have planted. I have watered, Apollos planted, but the Lord giveth the increase. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the judgment. When you plant a seed, the judgment of it is to bring something forth, right? And it bring forth what you put in. So the Lord loves bringing forth what has been put in, right? That's your whole cause and effect. So he loves that, right? The Lord is the origin of your so-called equation, your math equation. 1 + 1 = Lord, see, the so-called white man got everybody thinking he taught mathematics, you know what I'm saying? And equations. He really had you thinking he came with that concept.
No, I just think that low key. I ain't gonna lie.
But what is judgment? That's math.
1 + 1 = 2.
You get what you put together.
Mm.
You get out what you put in. I'll be sitting in class. 8 + 8 on the calculator.
Exactly.
100,000 plus. And I'm getting everything I'm putting in.
Con.
Lord, like, see?
Mm-hmm.
See? Like the calculator, see?
And Esau like, see?
Yeah, that's what he did. I did that. I tied, that's that Coach Carter. I did that. I tied that shoe. You know what I'm saying? There's more on that, brother. Brother.
Yes, it says they are preserved forever, but the seed of the wicked shall be cut off. The righteous shall inherit the land and dwell therein forever.
I got a scripture real quick.
I got one to go with that too. Revelation 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Hold that. Yeah, that's cool. But we get this point real quick. That's going into the result. So ultimately, the Lord, forget what I was about to say. Basically, it's another little point within that. When I was saying basically that he think that he painted the Lord Edomite so many times that he thinks that the Lord is an Edomite. You know what I'm saying? I forget what I was exactly saying. But this is scripture just for that little point, so we can stay with the main point. This is Psalms 50 and 21. It says, "These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself. But I will reprove thee, and set them in order before thine eyes. Now consider this, ye that forget Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, or the Most High, lest I tear you in pieces, and there be none to deliver." You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much it. So, and this is literally talking about Esau, because if you jump up to the 20th verse, it says, well, I'm gonna start at the 19th verse real quick. It says, "Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit." The circle, that's the 360. Spirit always come back full circle. It says, verse 20, "Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thy own mother's son." Linking with the brother of war brought out earlier, that Esau was jealous at Jacob because he got the blessing. You know what I'm saying? And with it being pretty much the earth being given into the hand of Esau, period. He's been, as we started this off before we went into it, said by the Spirit, a brother has said the other day that pretty much with it being a so-called white man's his world, he just simply made everything in his favor. And he done did it so many times to where he believed it. You know what I'm saying? He done punished you so many times for so long, he really think you're just so-called spicks and niggers and wetbacks and all this. He really believed this. He done painted God white so many times, so-called white, or Edomite. He really believed this. That's what this literally talking about. He said, "Thy slander is thy own mother's son." You turn the news on today, who the hell was the main topic? You know what I'm saying? Jake. Who run the news? Amalek. Esau. Who the Lord say he was going to war with? Amalek. You know what I'm saying? So that's the Lord just about to bring everything to naught. Everything. We never got that scripture.
I got it.
You got it?
Come on.
Go ahead.
So like,
It's cool. The Lord is gonna bring everything to naught, man. That mean the pits you've been digging. I mean the images you've been iconoclastic, because really they're true images. You just painting them wrong. You know what I'm saying? You are reconstructing images you found that we actually painted, or heathens painted. You know what I'm saying? Of us. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord about to bring all that to naught, man. So that's pretty much it on that.
Job chapter 8 verse 22. "They that hate thee shall be clothed with shame, and the dwelling place of the wicked shall come to naught.
Damn. Read that one more time, so I can.
Job chapter 8, verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
They that hate thee shall be clothed with shame, and the dwelling place of the wicked shall come to naught.
The dwelling place of the wicked is gonna come.
Coming up, man. So the Trump Tower is coming down. Everything is coming down, man. Like I said, the Lord is the best counterpuncher. He said, you all together thought I was one as yourself. The Lord is supplanter. He the ultimate Jake. Doesn't Jacob mean supplanter? You know what I'm saying? He loved bringing forth righteous judgment. The Lord got the judgment written ultimately for you. You put in the work that you really basically the Lord, the so-called white man, loved war, right? He loved killing brothers, people. Yeah, so he loved killing brothers. His own mother's son with the sword, right? He loves having the biggest and baddest military, the biggest nuke, the fastest jet, right? That's the lifestyle that he wants to portray and ultimately receive back. Bring that out, what you just had. Revelation 13 and 10, man. So those main two things you found in the capsule known as slavery, right? And known as war, military. But guess what? The Lord said he a man of war. So this is the ultimate war. This is the ultimate counterpunch right here.
Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
So what did you do? You led all the children of Israel into captivity. You that same sword that was used to pluck the children of Israel out of their own land, right? And to basically remove from their memorial, their memory, right? How did you help do that? Because you helped destroy them by teaching them nothing. You know what I'm saying?
And beating the knowledge out of them.
You said what?
And beating the knowledge out of them.
Yeah, you beat the knowledge out of them. You beat the knowledge out of our ancestors, man. You beat the sense out of them. You beat them senseless. You know, you beating me like a Hebrew slave. That's what you did, man. So guess what? The Lord said, because what? He that
leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
You about to receive all that back.
You reap what you sow.
That's you reap what you sow. You dig that pit. So you finna fall in that. You believe the world should be dictated by slaves and a hierarchy.
You dug that pit. You thought it was for somebody else, but
You thought as if that's how things should go.
that
So
pit,
guess what?
that pit was for you.
You're right. That's how things should go.
Come.
He that leadeth shall go where?
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
That's where you going. You thought that's how it should go. Guess what? That's where you going.
Look, that's math. What you do to one side, you gotta do to the other.
That's it. Joke's on you. That's that input. You put 3 + 3 into the calculator.
Man.
I go back to Sirach 27:26.
Yeah.
You set the trap. You finna fall into your own trap that you was trying to set.
It's pretty much just like the movies I forget what that theme is called. It basically start with the end of the movie at the beginning. Somebody bring that out real quick. Psalms 99.
I got you.
Go ahead. This the end of the movie. Basically, because it's supposed spiritual. Because when I first started reading the Bible, I read Revelation first.
I got you. That's
Yeah.
Is that something?
Started with Revelations. You started backwards.
No, he's saying what I'm saying about the spirit. It's basically like the movies that start. I forget what that thing is called. It's like a technique they use. There's some terminology for it. But anyway, they start the end of the movie at the beginning. Right. That's basically what this benefit.
The conclusion.
Exactly.
The conclusion. Go ahead, bring that out real quick.
I got piggyback on this too. So Psalms 90 and 9.
Lamb me back. We don't do pigs.
For all our days are passed away in thy wrath.
See?
We spend our years as a tale that is told.
We've been low-key living the end from the beginning. Think about it. Exodus 20:1. Who got it? Watch this. Let's prove it. This shit is crazy.
Exodus 10:1.
20:1. Watch this. Keep holding that Revelation 13:10. Watch this.
It's Exodus 21. And Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
So there you go. He bought, that's the beginning, right? But that's really we've been on the ass end since the beginning.
Come, this is
Go to Revelation 13:10. Back to that. Right? And ultimately, that was Esau looking at himself in the mirror, his twin.
come. The Bible refers to Egypt, refers to America as Egypt.
See that? There you go. Bring it out. 11:8, Revelation. Matter of fact, go get that first.
11:8.
The reference to Egypt.
Correct. Revelation 11:8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets.
Let's get the Revelation 13:10 or whoever. Go ahead.
Come. That was Deuteronomy.
Con. Get Revelation 11:10. 11, it's like 13:10. Go ahead.
Correct. Revelation 11:8.
Mm-hmm.
And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
This is the end of the story right here. We back in Egypt again. That's that movie. Did you finish that? Psalms 99?
Come.
We live our lives as a tale that is told, man. See that? Now Revelation 13:10. And ultimately at the end, this the twist. It's some Jacob's ladder type stuff. Esau is a twin. But he think he's somebody he actually not. That's Jacob's ladder. Go ahead.
Revelation 13:10.
Oh man.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
So ultimately, you want to, guess what? And what's the main thing the so-called white man want? He want them pyramids, man. He want Egypt. He want to be them pharaohs. Lord gave you a wish. So
He
who
wanted to have all riches.
who led the children of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites, into the first Egypt? The Egyptians, right? Who were Hamites. Who you say you are. See how that's full circle? Go back to you being everybody. See? You say that you know. So the Lord gonna give you that. Go ahead. One more time. All right?
Revelation 13:10 says, He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Esau over there watching us like, nah, he out his coffee mug. He spit all over the them, you know.
That's what it's talking about. Martha, would you get your ass in here?
Y'all the Egyptians,
Get over
right?
here, breaking it down. And that's what it's talking about. I fucking told you. These motherfuckers.
He's getting on the phone. He calling the mercenaries.
You get your motherfucking asses out there. You go get. You want 50,000 guillotines and
That's what they doing, man.
you motherfucker.
They going crazy, man. And this Jake sleep. This Jake.
Jake blew.
Pat, you know what I'm saying? That's Jake. That's what Jake doing right now.
Jake
Hella
rolling.
Jake's
Jake
up.
rolling up right now.
It's really awesome. Monday I had a little situation with law. We could talk about this like
Yeah,
after.
that. Yeah, that's. Hey, man. Do you got your heart's desire, man? The Lord gave you.
You
He sat at the
Egyptians.
computer with the headphones listening in. He just spilled his coffee mug all over
You-
all over the computer. They said, look, he said,
and you know y'all up right now. It's news time. Y'all watching the news
They
right now.
watching us, man.
It's the news.
right, this is news channel for
5
them.
o'clock
Watching
a.m.
us.
And
Yep. You wanted it. Cause you want us either way. So we gonna tell you the truth. You want to blow the noses off the Spinks, off the Pharaohs,
Off of everything.
you want to blow the noses off everything big a part of. You want to take off the lips, the noses.
Yeah, what do you think?
The rise.
All the statues that were
Then y'all want to say y'all Egyptians. Go ahead. Be Egyptians. You know.
Yeah, man.
This next part really go into his blessing, because what was his blessing? He will get everything that he got by what? The sword.
Yeah, finish the verse you got there, grab it.
It says, he that leadeth into captivity, Revelation 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Oh, man.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
He said must.
So the Lord,
It's gonna happen.
so hey man, you invented everything, right? You invented math. You said 1 + 1 2, right?
Yeah.
You know, the Lord said, okay, 1 + 1 is 2. Right? Go ahead, give what you got.
They be saying that they the ones that wrote the book. So if you wrote the book, that means what you just wrote right there, saying he who lead into captivity shall go into captivity.
No, they don't say they wrote the book. There's certain things they don't say.
That's what people say on the street.
That's what niggas say. Jake put that on Esau. Esau ain't never said that. Esau just act like he you. There's certain things Esau can't let come out of his mouth, like the name Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? Etc. Man. And that he an Israelite. That's why they say they what? Israelis. That's why they say they Jewish. And certain things their spirit won't permit them to say. Cause that'll confound you. They ain't gonna literally be like, I'm Judah. They wouldn't be like, I'm Yahweh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Their spirit won't.
Yehuda.
It's too much. It's too much demon in them. Cause if you say Yahweh, who name is you saying? Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? They say the Lord name is dreadful among the heathen. So they say Jehovah. They say that all day.
Or Jesus.
Making up.
God bless.
Go ahead, Rob. You got.
I said my mom, she was trying to make a joke about the Mexican Jesus. And I'm just thinking in my head like, if you using this fake name in vain, how you gonna use the real Lord's name? That's it.
Yeah, we're gonna give a couple more scriptures to close this out. So we giving you the minds. This the end of the movie. At the end, you low key was a twin the entire time. You know what I'm saying? The Lord gonna give you what you want, man. You dig a pit for yourself. So, brothers ain't got no more scriptures. We're gonna go ahead and close up.
That's that man in the mirror that they don't want to see.
I got Exodus 6:2.
Go ahead.
It says,
The scripture.
and power spake unto Moses, and said unto him, I am Yahweh, and I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob, by the name of Power Almighty.
So I was shot you.
But by my name, Yahweh, was I not known to them, and I have also established my covenant with them, to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their pilgrimage, wherein they were strangers. And I have also heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant.
So you really thought that your twin brother Jacob was the one bugged out, so-called Negroes, blacks, Latinos, and so-called Native American Indians. But really, you're going to come to find out at the end of the movie, you was the one bugged out. Hey, brothers, anybody got anything?
Yeah, I got Proverbs 20:20. A faithful man shall abound with blessings, but he that maketh haste to be rich shall not be innocent.
So there you go, man. You want that life. It's as heavy as the crown. You know what I'm saying? You know, you say in your world that top is lonely. You know what I'm saying? So
That's it. Verse 22. So like it. It says, "He that hasteth to be rich has an evil eye, and considered not that poverty shall come unto him."
Yep. You ain't got no damn under you. You basically think like that there's no time and season for everything. You basically don't think you truly don't understand science.
You don't understand the Lord's balance for everything.
You don't.
As you believe in your houses will be established forever.
Come on.
You know.
Come on. You know, you don't understand your own science. Don't you say what goes up must come down?
Yeah.
What happened?
Gravity. But the gravity is ill. I got one, but I want to close on this one. So
One more. There's the end of the movie. There's Exodus 6:6. It says, "Wherefore say unto the children of Israel, I am Yahweh, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will rid you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with a stretched out arm and with great judgments."
go ahead, get that again real quick.
This is Exodus 6:6. It says, this is the end of the movie right here. It says, "Wherefore say unto the children of Israel, I am Yahweh, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will rid you out of their bondage."
So pause. You the so-called Egyptian, right? You the Sphinx, right? You those Egyptians. So you about to lose your slaves. That's the end of the movie. And you gonna find out you really the slave. You know what I'm saying? You going into slavery.
I got a
Because
home
you
alone
brought it in
face.
slavery. Guess what? You want to be like, you want to be just like Egypt so much. You want to tell everybody you're the real Egyptians and you're the real Israelites. But the scriptures tell you that the Israelites and the Lord put a difference between the Egyptians and the children of Israel, man. They're not the same people. So how the hell you're one people, but you're gonna be both people at the same time? You Judah and you Ham. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, he gonna give you that benefit of being Ham. Guess what? Ham took us into captivity, man. So Ham is going into captivity. You want to be Ham? Guess what? You the Pharaoh, right? Guess what? You want to put that pyramid on the back of your dollar? Guess what? This is spiritual Egypt. You going down. Oppressor, massa. You know what I'm saying? We got a couple more scriptures we're gonna get for you, double.
You got something?
Let's go ahead.
Come on.
I got something too.
Go ahead and get it.
This is Proverbs 28:26. "He that trusteth in his own mind is a fool, but whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered."
But that don't apply to Esau, because you can't walk wisely because it wasn't given to you.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? The knowledge wasn't given to you to be wise with, to become wise. You're ultimately written to be destroyed off the face of the earth.
Come on.
So you was never supposed to be a wise man. You were set up to be the devil, deceiver, lying piece of garbage that you are. And you're getting ready to go into slavery, and we're going to destroy you and torture you for 1,000 years. We're going to, ultimately, the slavery is going to be so rough, you're going to perish. Logically. We made it through our slavery. You couldn't break us down, our ancestors, nothing. We couldn't stop populating. You put crack in our communities, we still here. We still have babies. You know what I'm saying? We're still here. You gave us a GMO foods. Jake's still getting strong, big and fast, and running 4.3s at the combine when all he ate was Roman noodles growing up. You can't stop us. We Yasha'Allah. We got power with man and with God.
Come.
And they tell you that in the lesson, I ain't gonna mention it because he'll try to go delete the dang video. But it tell you that Judas, he shall rule as God. Yasha'Allah. Salaki. Go ahead, Al.
Obadiah 17 and 17.
17.
It's a lot.
1 to 17.
1 and 17. Obadiah 1 and 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Obadiah 1 and 18. And the house
40.
and the house of Jacob shall be a fire,
27 and 40.
and the house of Joseph a flame.
So who the house of Joseph represent? Ultimately, that's another name.
The northern kingdom.
That's another lead name for the northern kingdom, like Ephraim. Go ahead.
And the house of Esau for stubble,
So you those tares. You know what I'm saying?
and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh hath spoken it.
Or the Lord about to take you off the face of the earth. You want to bring that up? Go ahead. And this is why.
This going back a little line. Going back to you kill with the sword, you must be killed with the sword. It's Genesis 27 and 40. It's talking about Esau, and it says, "And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother."
So the Lord, only blessing the Lord gave you, because Yahweh Shai was actually Isaac. And you know reincarnation is real. Right? He said, you have no power but the power that my Father gave you in heaven. He ultimately gave you a blessing. The same man you put to death on that cross, mutilated, his image was more marred than any man. No man's image has been marred more than his, man. Right? Go ahead.
"And shall serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break the yoke from off thy neck."
What that's going into, that's when, read that one time. On top.
This Genesis 27 and 40.
Uh-huh.
"And by the sword shalt thou live." And
What you see, that's why you're gonna be killed with it, because you live by it, man. So called saying in the world, you live by the gun, you die by the gun. Go ahead.
"And shall serve thy brother."
That's how you dictated the world should go. This is how people should rule. You should kick them in the ass. You know, that's your philosophy is ultimately gonna come back to you, because it's your world. So your way of life is ultimately self-destructive.
"And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck."
That's when you came from us putting a foot up your tail back in the Holy Roman Empire, which we started, right? By the likes of, I believe, King Charlemagne, you know, so-called black names of Jake, you know, and Otis, etc. The original Germans, right? The people that came from the German Jakes, right? That came and took over the Holy Roman Empire when you was put into captivity for 1,000 years. And then you end up breaking that yoke and you was loose, like Revelation tell you, which is the time we're in now. But now you about to go back in and you ain't coming back up this time.
I should get 38 talk about how that's why Esau act the way he do. Technically, it say Esau said unto his father, "Hast thou but one blessing, my father?"
Because he understood that's all he was given. You was given the sword, and you was gonna gain everything through it. So that's why you gotta rob, lie, steal, and you can't tell the truth. You will never tell us who we are. But you are, because the scripture said, "In the land where thou was said that thou art not the children of God, there you shall be called the children of the living God," man. The living power, man. So the Lord gonna have you confess up. You know what I'm saying? And you gonna cough up the goods. All the resources you stole from us, man. Scriptures tell you that we understand that we pay for our own water. You know what I'm saying? Like literally. And I keep mentioning that by the Spirit, and that's right in the scriptures. We literally pay for our own waters. We understood that then. So Jake been living at the end since the beginning. But his end is really gonna begin his. That's why he came at the end. If you go into the birth, Jake was living at the end from the beginning. And you were the end from the beginning. So it's backwards. Somebody get Isaiah 45:7. You know what I'm saying? You can't make this up. That's really what that's telling you. That everything, the earth has been effed from the beginning. Think about it. Everything started off just off.
45-7.
The serpent was always around. It was always the serpent. The left-hand side always been winning more than the right-hand side. Always. Because the righteous would never hold their ground because the world was more influential. Why? Because the Lord never had perfect bodies down here. You know what I'm saying? How you was immortal and you lose it because you was never in a perfect body. You just couldn't die. But the Lord took that away from you because you ultimately wasn't right. Right? He just was no duration on your life. So what we're about to get, and you understand that, the Lord finally brought that to the earth. Because he ultimately, the balance is actually supposed to be the righteous side being stronger than the left-hand side. But the left-hand side has always been ruling. And that was always everything that ended the earth. So the end of the movie was always at the beginning, man. That's what Jacob and Esau's birth represented. You was the end of the world from your inception. And Jacob was the beginning of it that followed. That's why I read like that. For Esau, it's the end of the world. But Esau came first. So the end came first. See that? Don't the scripture say the end of all things is at hand? The movie ain't even started yet. When you turn on the movie and it show you the end first, Bird Box, you ain't even got into the movie yet. You see that? Go ahead, 45:7.
Come on, Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness.
No, that ain't that. 46. Let me see. Somebody just get read that real quick. I think that's it.
I bring near my righteousness.
No, that ain't that. Just go back to Genesis and bring out the birth. Go to Genesis
25.
25th chapter. Verse start at I think the 36th verse, I think. Bring out just jump straight to the birth.
Okay.
And then somebody in the Apocrypha get 2nd Ezra 6 and start at 9. Whoever get it first, it don't even matter.
2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 9.
Good.
For Esau is the end of the world.
See? So the end was at the beginning. Because who came first? Let's go to Genesis.
Okay. Genesis 25:24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment.
So the first mention of a red person according to those chosen people that always brought forth the word of God, right? Of the power, whose name is Yahweh. Go ahead, spark it.
And they call his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
So one more time on that. Salaki.
Start from 25 or 26.
Just straight birth when Esau came out.
Genesis 25 and 25. And the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment. And they called him Esau. And after that came his brother out.
But it just told you in the second Ezra's what? 6, what?
Second Ezra,
And 9?
chapter 6 and verse 9.
What did it say about Esau?
For Esau is the end of the world.
He's the what?
Is the end of the world.
He's the end. See that? He came first. And Jake, let's get the rest of that in Genesis.
And after that came his brother out.
You can't make this up, man.
And
The
his
world, everything, don't the scripture say the earth is out of course? See that? Shit is upside down, backwards. Don't the scripture say that? Surely your turning of things upside down. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
and his hand took hold on Esau's heel,
Mm.
and his name was called Jacob.
Mm.
And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
Because the beginning became, well, why can't the earth just, I'm so tired of crying and sighing. Because the end was put at the beginning is at the end of the movie. You understand the beginning of the movie, which was the end, at the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, that's what, oh, dang. Because, you know, they show you the beginning. The movie be the beginning, but it'll be the end of the movie. But they'll show it in a way that don't ruin it. And you won't understand it until you get to the end,
Right.
which is the beginning.
Like that movie Limitless, if you ever seen that. How he was like explaining, he was ready to jump off the building. And he was like, well look, the movie was basically like narrating, like, let's explain how I got to this point. And then it showed the movie and then it
Finally got to that
finished
point
off
where he
the-
was about to jump. Good.
Limitless was be spiritual too, because
Bird Box do that too. The movie Bird Box with the lady with the two little the little boy and the little girl. How they was on the little river, and they had their eyes closed.
Yeah.
That was the end of the movie.
Come on.
Yup. You finished that out?
really I was gonna say, I should get Genesis 25 and 23,
No, that's good. Was that it on that? What's 23 though?
where it ends with the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger.
Yeah, so basically pretty much, like I said, everything backwards. The Lord, basically, if you grab that, you basically you can bring that in and just say that the earth started weak, you know what I'm saying? And you're gonna truly see the strength of everything at the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think you're breathing air, you think the landscape is beautiful, you think the earth and sightseeing, you think people really think they've been sightseeing. But the end has been at the end, at the beginning the whole time. People ain't seen nothing.
Yeah.
They don't even know how beautiful Jake truly is. They think Jake could jump high right now. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
And run fast and dance good and sing good and etc.
And like, go back to the green pastures.
The Lord ain't gonna let him get the best of us. He thought he had the best slaves. And we worked hard. We ain't gonna work hard in the kingdom. We just gonna be
That's that.
balling.
That's it. You we'll be able to jake out. That's that. Chill, be lazy.
We gonna be Yasha Allah in the kingdom. Ain't no more Jake.
We gotta bind this.
Jake ass done. Ain't no more Jake. It's gonna be Yasha Allah.
That vibration getting did it.
Jake. Old Jake out of there. You Yasha Allah now. That's really your name. You know what I'm saying? Yasha Allah. Our great grandfather's name is Yasha Allah. Esau hated us. That's why he hated us so much. You know how cool that sound? His great grandfather's Aisha. That just sound wicked.
See, they like how long was ago. Like we don't know in the world. We don't know our ancestors. in the world, we can't even have this conversation. What's your great grandfather did?
We can go all the way back to our inception.
All the way back to it.
That's that.
And we can name family members.
I was gonna say
They famous.
we know where to go because we know where we've been.
I just think that sounds crazy about us, because I just started saying that by the Spirit, that you're famous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it just made it make sense. Like, we really is famous. Our family famous. That's your book in your hand. It's a
It's
book
the Hall of
about
Fame.
you.
It's the Hall of Fame of the family. The family tree right here.
Yeah, these are greats. Like our great, you know what I'm saying?
It
They're great.
literally say in the Apocrypha that it's going to be a Hall of Fame in the kingdom.
A great cuz Daniel, you know what I'm saying?
Right, you go see the
Super
picture.
great, you know what I'm saying?
The men of the Lord that stood the test of time on this side, their name will be put in the book. They're gonna be reading about the men of the Lord in the scriptures in the kingdom. That's gonna be the new part.
That'd be crazy because it'll be like everything that's happening
It's gonna be beautiful.
now,
It's
right?
gonna be the same way.
Right.
And they're gonna be reading about Lord willing us. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
But it ain't finna be no cakewalk. This devil, just how we talking about it, imagine it. He finna really come with the shit. He sitting over there like, you betcha.
No, just fucking right.
They take it good.
Look, cause listen, just cause you know doesn't mean you know. Cause I'm gonna fuck y'all.
They taking good notes, man.
Yeah,
Taking good
look,
notes.
you motherfucker.
That's that,
Esau doing push-ups right now. They watching this y'all.
he goes some gay shit.
He jump rope.
What's the new balances
The
on?
movie Punisher.
Yeah, do a jump. That's what he doing. We see him there burning incense, laughing.
They be doing the stretches.
Yeah. They put one of them come through the door, you end up probably knocking one of them out. You know what I'm saying?
I'll strip. Man.
Taking the gun and shit. You know what I'm saying?
They got a picture of that Edomite from the Punisher on their wall. They try to get like him. The big
Yeah,
guy.
right. That's his spirit. I knew he was gonna find it. I'm like, watch the Lord find this movie. I knew he was gonna find it. I'm like, Lord finna give it to him. Watch. But let's get back to this. Let's finish this up. Let's go to it's 46 and 10. Isaiah. So we just got that. Finish that off in the Apocrypha. I'll push out the 10th verse. Or just go back, start from 9 and go through 10.
Con. Second Ezra, chapter 6, verse 9.
Con.
For Esau is the end of the world,
Yeah, we've been going for a minute.
and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The hand of man is betwixt the hill and the hand.
Yeah, man. See that? Alright, so the earth ain't begun. It really ain't even begun yet. The movie ain't started yet. We live in our life as a tale that is told, but it's one of those tales where the end was shown to you at the beginning.
These literally all look like the preview movies. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
like
filling in time.
It's like a simulation. It's like a simulation. Now we finna hop out of this one. We get finally getting out of the last simulation.
He's like, what? It's a simulation in front of us. You know, that's his word. He's like, they get it. That's exactly. I've been trying to figure this out forever.
He gonna pull out the chalkboard he got behind him that explaining all of everything. He was like, look, Jezebel, I see everything.
He about to try to change the math. He about to try to change the equation.
That's a simulation. It's not a simulation. It's a simulation.
Just take one simulation out.
Put another one in here.
They broke the fucking matrix.
Yeah, right, exactly. They broke the levee. He said, it's not just a walk. He said, it's not just a true get Martha. It's not just a book. It's just a weapon. It's a weapon. They're going to kill us.
That's a weapon. We're gonna be fucking destroyed.
They know it, man. You know it. You know it. Y'all definitely watch this, and we know you watch this.
So look, you gotta get in the camera and be like, Kai, we're coming to destroy you.
Watching this.
Hey, y'all can call on Jesus all y'all want, man.
They don't believe in Jesus. That's what. Yeah, we lie to you. You can quit trying to be funny guy. But he can pop up on the screen. Red ass
We
face.
don't believe in that. I ain't like.
You know, curse you pop up. You know what I'm saying?
He gonna
Name your house,
try-
Hashem Yahushua.
He gonna try to call the governor or Trump, see what they could try to do.
His red ass, his orange ass going into slavery too. It don't matter, man. It don't matter what you do, man. It don't matter. You seen the end of the movie at the beginning, man. You know? And Lord behold, you've been Jacob Ladder. You know what I'm saying? You've been Jacob Ladder. You thought your life was perfect and your brother was the one you had to help him fix, and he's messed up. When it was really you. Isaiah 46:10.
Alright. Isaiah 46:10. Declaring the end from the beginning. And from ancient times, the things that are not yet done.
See that? So the movie's been read out, but the Lord had a twist on it. See that? The Lord put a twist on it. Shalom, how about Shemel Shah Barakah? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. We get this one last scripture
You wanna keep going?
and close out. I think that was it on that. Just going into the point of it. He declared the end from the beginning.
He say, saying, my counsel shall stand,
Yeah, you can't change it, man.
and I will do all my pleasure.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the end of that.
Man, you can't. So that's it. His counsel gonna stand. Remember I said in Psalms 2 that you counsel together? Well, it's finna fail, man. It's finna come to naught. Right? The ending was declared from the beginning. So the ending was put at the beginning. Right? The Hebrew Israelites were slaves. They went into Egypt. And they're gonna come out of but they came out of Egypt just to come back out of Egypt at the end, ultimately. You know what I'm saying? Which is America. And that's why you put that pyramid on the back of your dollar. You know what I'm saying? Because you say you everybody. You the real Egyptians, right? So you about to get, what happened to the Egypt? It was destroyed. What happened to Pharaoh? He was killed. What happened to his men? They was drowned by the water. And we're drowning you in the water right now. This truth. Last scripture. Psalms 50.
Psalms 15, what?
Psalms 50 and 20, Psalms 50 and hey, this full circle 16.
Alright. Psalms 15:16.
Kind
But
slow.
okay.
Right.
But unto the wicked,
Uh-huh.
Yahweh saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes?
See that? You open up the book in the beginning. See that? The ending was declared tonight from the beginning. We started talking about how the heathen opened up the book. They laid open the book of the law. See that? But the Lord just said, what? Unto the wicked, he said, what? From the top, up the shop.
Psalms 15:16.
You shouldn't mark your whole joint out like that either. You might want to wait, because you're missing a lot of people. Yeah.
But unto the wicked, Yahweh saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes? Or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?
See that? You're not even supposed to be speaking on the Lord, what the Lord looked like, teaching people the Bible about the so-called Lord. Because you don't even talk about the Lord. You're talking about Caesar Ray Borgia, man. You talking about so-called white man, man.
Fucking rapist.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly, man. You know, it's not even supposed to be in your mouth. You keep going up. See?
Psalms 15:17. Seeing
That's like
thou
sure.
hatest instruction, and cantest my words behind thee. So I can, and castest my words behind thee. Keep going into 18.
What you say, Salaki? Hey, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you want me to go into 18?
Yeah, keep going, because we closing out.
Okay. I'll start up from the top again. Psalms 15:17.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing thou hatest instruction
Uh-huh.
and castest my words behind thee.
So that's why he never gave you the blessing, because you wasn't built for it. You know what I'm saying? You weren't built to like instruction. Jake just been tricked out of thinking, he been tricked into thinking he doesn't like instruction. You know what I'm saying? That's due to this carnal flesh that we've been in, and all you heathens trying to influence us. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. But the Lord finna come back and show us how cool it is to be an Israelite. And you don't have a choice, because he's about to put a lot of so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians to death. Go ahead.
Psalms 50.
So you will get in line and accept your heritage there.
Psalms 50:18.
That's that, no. That's, what's my name? What's my name? Shaft, John Shaft. What's the Lord finna do? He said John Shaft. This would be the ones and the plant was talking about on the movie Shaft. When Shaft came through and he was pistol whipping the dude because he was getting out of line, and his mama was like, he around the corner. And he didn't even say, he ain't asked no questions. He just walked straight to him, hit him with the pistol. And that mother was like, looking ugly than it was. He was like, what's my name? He like, John Shaft. He's like, John Shaft. Go ahead.
Psalms 18. When thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him, and hast been partaker with adulterers.
One more time on that. Salaki.
Psalms 15:18. When thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him.
When thou, what's the T? What he said with what?
Then thou consentest.
Let me see that. When thou, where you at? Yeah, consentest. When thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him, and hast been partaker with adulterers. Right? Keep going, jump to 19.
Psalms 15:19.
Uh-huh.
Thou givest my mouth to evil,
Thy mouth.
and thy tongue framest.
You said give it my mouth.
That's a thigh.
Okay, Salaki. Go ahead.
I'll start from the top.
Mm-hmm.
Psalms 15:19. Thou givest thy mouth to evil,
See that? Line. Go ahead.
and thy tongue framest deceit.
See that? The vaccine that's supposed to kill the coronavirus and all this crap. Go ahead. That's really finna get a lot of Israelites sick and die, man. Go ahead.
Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother.
See that? And it's all against Jacob. Everything Esau do is to get to Jacob. That's his whole mission in life.
Fuck you, Jacob.
Go ahead.
Psalms 15:20.
What's the point? Come on.
Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thy own mother's son.
Keep going.
These things hast thou done, and I kept silent.
He been watching this whole time, man. See that? Keep going.
Thou,
Autist.
thank you. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such and one as thyself.
Man, the Lord, he hates niggers too. He hates spicks and wetbacks too. He's good old, no. You been supplanted. Go ahead.
But I will reprove thee.
He gonna reproof you, man. Means to correct. He gonna rebuke you sharply. He's just basically show you his disdain for you, man. You just completely just unclean vessel. Go ahead.
And set them in order before thine
He
eyes.
gonna set you in order. He gonna check you in front of everybody. You gonna be low key. That dude on John Shaft that got pistol whipped, that low key represent Esau and Jake. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Now consider this. Ye that,
He said, now consider this. Check this out. Go ahead.
ye that forget Yahweh, lest I tear you in pieces.
So you forgot the Lord exists. You forgot you didn't put this big ocean of water here, this body of water here. You didn't put the air here. You've been up so high, you forgot these things. You know what I'm saying? You forgot you went and dug up Israel and you found stones that had Bayat Dawada. You know what I'm saying? Meaning the house of David. You know what I'm saying? That these people really existed. I mean, you always knew they existed because they're your relatives. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Who you hate and close out. Go ahead.
And there be none to deliver.
Ain't nobody gonna save you. Your army, your jets, your SpaceX forts, your bunker, nothing. So, hey man, that's it. Lord finna bring you to naught. But I'm gonna get this I'm gonna get this video real quick. We're gonna laugh at you. So you got Jake in the hood like this, and like we said, you really the nigga. You know what I'm saying? You the true nigga. Jake on the side, you guys, Jake being idle, you two being idle. Cause this image you done put in Jake is something you promoted him to be. So this really came from you. So this is liking up to you right here, and his people that want to wake up.
About 12 years old named Tony. You know it? Huh? Yeah. Wrong answer. There's a kid lives down the block about 12 years old named Tony. Do you know him? Nah, I don't know that kid. I don't know that nigga. This kid you don't know, you see him coming, you run for your motherfucking life. You got that? Now, do you ever want to see me again? Do you ever want to see me again? No. What's my name? I forgot. What's my name? Josh Schaff. Josh Schaff.
What's his name? His name Yahweh, man. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. You know? But that's like a little example. But you, that's too nice for you. So we're gonna go ahead and close out. By the Spirit, we're gonna give all honor, praise, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, Ba'Shem, HaRakah.
Alright. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, we well. Shalom to you, brothers teaching, you know what I'm saying? Listening. And truth and sincerity, man. Scripture say, blessed is he that readeth and that heareth, man. So with that, hey, man, stay 10 toes down, stay locked in, stay faithful, man. Shalom.
We call it flyers.
Almost did. I seen